Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In my channel, what I like to do is I like to try new things. I specifically like to work with my hands. So over the last couple weeks, I've been using a welder that I got recently, which is called the Yeswelder. It's the Flux 135 Pro. I believe it's the basic model. I just wanted to go with the cheapest one since I have zero experience. Get some practice in with the cheap ones, see what works for me, what works best, and then as I learn more, I'll learn which units would be best if I want to upgrade at some point. But I've noticed this welder's done everything I've needed it to. It's pretty awesome compared to zero experience, but from what I've seen, what I've done so far with it, it's been pretty nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld up this triangle. It's a pre-cut coupon that I got off of Amazon. Pretty simple. Just figure out which way you need to weld it. Bend it. Don't try not to over bend it too much or go back and forth, because then these little metal tabs will break and it makes it a little bit more difficult when you have to tape them together or weld them individually. So we'll just bend up just a little bit at a time to get it to where it needs to be. Here we go. Try not to cut yourself. I probably should have gloves on, but I've cut myself enough. I don't really mind little cuts like that. Bring the centers in evenly. We're going to come to about a touching point, but I don't know if we really want the tips to be touching necessarily. When you're welding it, you want to have a little space in between. See, it's a little too wide at the top, but the bottom's pretty good. So we want to make that even all the way up top. Leave a little space. And what I've learned over the last couple of weeks is leave a little space so that the weld breaks through, but not too much to where you got to try to pull them together. That doesn't seem to work too well. But so I'll have to over bend it just a little bit and bend this one. And overbend, overbend, overbend. See, my sides are a lot more even now. Right there, this one's got to go in a little bit more. Now we're a little too far in. It's pretty even. The tip's all about even. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. So what I like to do is the easiest type so far for me, so I've tried side to side, left to right, right to left, up and down. The easiest way I've noticed to weld is downwards, because it's easy to kind of control the puddle. So I've learned doing research, online, which is as bare minimum research as you could do, is you need to control that puddle. I've noticed, when you watch an expert weld online, they're moving very slow. And my first initial welds, I was able to move really quickly. I'm like, why am I so much quicker than these guys welded online? And what I realized is I'm getting ahead of the weld. So I'm trying to pull these metals together, basically, rather than controlling that puddle and bringing that puddle down with me. And the problem that I was having is I kept burning the edges of the metal, because I'm direct contact with them rather than just kind of pulling that metal. So it's basically like there's a puddle of metal there. You're pushing right in the center of it, and you're pushing the edge of that puddle downwards. So you're moving real slow and controlled. You don't have to move too much left and right, just basically pulling it down in a slow motion. So I'm going to get set up here with my gloves and mask and everything, get the welder on, and we'll get started. Alright, so as I've said in my previous video, based off of my lack of experience, I don't really know where the wire speed needs to be or the voltage. The voltage goes -3 to 3. I keep it around -1. That seems to be working the best for me, and my wire speed is at the lowest possible it can. It's 120. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack right at the top here, and then I'm going to start moving it down. I use this metal pipe here as my welding table. Basically, I have the ground connected to the edge there. I'm probably going to need to grind it down because we got some rust from the rain, but I hold it off to the edge here, and maybe move this camera a little bit. All right. Like I said, I'll start from the top and make my way down. A little tack at the top, So I guess because I'm not, because of my inexperience, I do at times stop along the way because it gets a little too hot and I don't want to melt through the metal, which I probably will, but you guys will see. And of course, I am working outside because I don't have an inside place to work, so I got to deal with the wind, which I believe is affecting my porosity or creating porosity, and puts my weld out every once in a while. But we'll just work through it. All right, one side down. A little stuck. So my experience not bad. This second part, obviously, this top piece. If there's any experts out there that can tell me why that's so terrible, but this bottle piece looks a lot better than what I've been doing. So move along to side 2. I don't know if it's proper or not. I think I'm keeping a little distance between my wire feed. I did learn online if it's correct or not. That the farther away you are, the less heat you may have or the less voltage you may have. So I'm trying not to burn through the metal. These welds are quite raised off the edge. The welds that I've seen on like professionals, they see much more inwards of the welded area. So maybe I'm holding back too much. Maybe I'm not pressing in there too much. Not too sure. I'm trying to learn more about that. But if anyone does see this video and knows what they're talking about, please, any advice would be greatly appreciated. This side's a little off, but we're going to go with it anyway. Number 3. Got a little ahead of myself on that one, but still not too bad. I tried to go inside the hole a little bit more. It looks maybe a little less raised. I don't know, you guys tell. It looks a little bit more into me than that previous one, so I'm gonna continue to do that. Try to stay in I'm staying on the puddle, but inwards a little bit rather than focusing on moving left to right. So I'm moving a little bit, but barely anything left to right. So last from the sides. So on that one, I tried not to move at all left to right. Not much of a difference. At the top, it looks like a little bit, but it's about the same. So, I mean, in my opinion, off of my experience, this is not bad. So we're not gonna do that top just yet. We're gonna move to the sides here, which is gonna do a little different. No, I'm still gonna stay straight up and down, a little bit of an angle, face it towards you. See how that works. These are, pre-cut into this distance, so they're pretty perfectly even up and down. So this should go pretty well. And it's, I'm going off of 2 different direction angles, so we'll see how different that is. Lost sight of it for a minute there, but again, I moved a little bit left to right, but very minimal. That doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna finish these last 3 up, and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, we are back. Got the 3 sides finished. Focus in. All right, it's still hot, so I'm not grabbing it, but the wind was getting to me a little bit. I could feel it blowing the weld a little bit, but this is what we're getting to. Are we focused? So honestly, for 0 experience, I feel like it's coming out pretty well. Obviously, I would want to do this properly, know the proper wire speeds, voltage, all that. But for practice, I feel like this isn't too bad. You guys let me know. Well, be nice if it would focus. There we go. Yeah, it's hot. Still pretty hot. I don't know, it's coming out pretty good. It looks like crap now, but once I get the grinder out, it'll look great. But last thing we gotta do is this top piece. Now I know what I'm gonna likely. So guys, I was showing my inexperience with welding with this guy today, with this video. I also am showing my inexperience with videoing, because the last part of it, I actually was videoing the times I didn't want to video, and was shutting it off the times I did want to video. So wasn't able to get that last piece, but as you can see, I did a pretty terrible job at the top there. I'm assuming maybe I should have started from the very top, maybe, although it's very weak points there. That's why I don't. Because with my inexperience, I just kind of melt the tips off. But maybe I should have started closer to the top so that my last weld would have just been the very top. But you can see I just went up a little bit each side. This side I started a little higher, so you can see. But as I was welding those tips, they did melt off a little bit because they got overheated. But I was only on there for a second, and then would stop, and then on again. But as you can see, a little close up of the other side welds, these are definitely my best yet. They are a little raised. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be, or it should be more flattened as you're welding. Maybe my wire speed or voltage is causing that, or maybe this is the way it's supposed to look. I'm not sure. This was the very first weld where the wind was getting to me, and I stopped and started a couple times. So yeah, so that's how it's looking. Not bad compared to what I've been doing. If you guys would have saw my first welds, you would have been like, yeah, you should probably not be welding at all. But it's not too bad. Here's the bottom. I'll clean it up with a wire brush before I start the grinding video of this. But yeah, it's pretty good. It'll hold definitely together. I don't see a lot of porosity that it did before, but is that, watching videos, you hear about undercut. I don't know if any of this is considered that. So any experts that may see this, please let me know. what you guys think. Any advice would help. And, as I said before, try my best to do this for fun, but also, I would love to actually do this for a little bit of passive income as well. So that is the point of this. If you guys are able to, I'd appreciate, if you could just subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not really, not much effort. Comment, uh, leave a like if you don't mind. If not, no problem at all. I appreciate you just watching and learning with me. I think I was saying at the end of the video too that, I like to try a lot of different things. I like working with my hands. Before this, I've been in construction for years before the job I have now. So I love doing woodworking. So I do a lot of, it's not a huge, huge business nowadays because, people are tight on money usually. So I usually do cutting boards and stuff along those lines. I'll make some videos of those. I'm a little bit more experienced with that. Also gardening. I've been gardening over the last couple of years, just small scale, some raised beds and some pots to do, strawberries and tomatoes and hot peppers, stuff like that. Just stuff that I enjoy. Right now, what I'm trying to do is grow some grass in my backyard. So as you can see, this backyard is terrible. So what happens is I'm the lowest point of the houses around me, and water settles here. So I did dig a hole, and I put some river rocks in there to try to hold. I don't really want to do a whole French drain if I can help it. It may come to that, but I did put some seeds down over 2 days. It's going to rain all this week, so that's good. It'll get plenty of water. So I'm hoping, I get something out of that. But yeah, I'm just cleaning up my yard, really. It looks like trash. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on. So tell me what you guys think. If you have any ideas, what you'd like to see me try, what you'd like to see me learn. I'm always interested in learning new things, so please give me the ideas if you want. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you next time.